This episode is brought to you by Between Magic and Dreams by Brian D. Covington. And I'm just looking at the cover, y'all, and this is so dope. There's a big ass sword. I apologize for cursing from the beginning, but it's just like, go check out this book. It is available hardcover, paperback, digital, audiobook, on We Buy Black. Support your indie bookstores, and I am reading the Bombas Blurb just so you can get a vibe. What if out of the blue you were saddled with a task that would most certainly ruin your weekend plans? What would you do if you were to look to the side at this very moment to see a creature of myth and legend, beckoning you to do things that defy common sense? Quentin finds himself in just a predicament. Follow him on a journey that will either leave him twisting in the depths of oblivion or riding the winds of change, because as it turns out, we've never owned our reality. We're just renting it. So definitely check this gorgeous covered book by a Black author, Brian D. Covington, Between Magic and Dreams, and check them out in Instagram, Facebook, and the website betweenmagicanddreams.com. Hit them on socials, support the sponsor and dope authors, and let's begin the show. Welcome to Creatively Exposed, a podcast and safe space for Black and marginalized creatives to empower, educate, and uplift you through the final product of self and creation. Bring a homie, share with a homie, and enjoy the show. Welcome back to Creatively Exposed, and we are down to our final episodes for the season. So after this episode, next Monday will be the final one. I don't know how long the break will be, because November is NaNoWriMo. And for those who don't know what NaNoWriMo is National Writing Month, and I have a lot of writing to do. So I am trying to clear my schedule as much as possible. I got a couple of things that I want to attempt to get done and some submissions to do. The life of a creative and a writer, huh? That is that. Heads up on that. Definitely check out the sponsor for these last few episodes of the season, Between Magic and Dreams. I know Halloween just ended, but fantasy worlds do not. So, check out Between Magic and Dreams. It is available everywhere you could get your books. I will be listening to it and reviewing it for the final episode. So keep an eye on that. And today, what has been on my spirit is being able to believe that you can is half the battle. Why do I say this? So this past week, if you can't hear it in my voice, it was a very intense week. Shout out to therapy. All of my therapy is because when I tell you it is what got me through, it is what got me through. And supportive people in our lives. They matter so much. But what's wonderful, and I think this conversation that I had with one of my besties was just a gratitude for pushing each other and helping each other see that we are capable, and to get out of our own way and to believe in one another when sometimes we don't believe we are capable ourselves, right? And so I say that because I I tend to do a lot of things. Like I literally sometimes people ask me like, "Oh, how did you figure this out or whatever?" And it's like I literally jumped off the cliff and found how to create the parachute on my way down. I do research. I do review things. I do social study, like social media study stuff. But most of the time, I don't learn through just like textbook information. I'm just more like, I don't know why I keep saying just, but I'm more of the person that if I want to make something happen, I'm going to do it. And then once I'm in it and I hit like a roadblock, I'm like, oh crap, I need to learn all of these things. I am struggling with my headphones today because I got a big old bonnet on my head. It is the evening, y'all. It's 10:15, even though it feels like 3 a.m. now that they have uh, changed time. If you are in the US, we have fallen back an hour. So it feels mad late. But believing in yourself. So I literally do throw myself into situations and then somehow, by the grace of God, maybe it's alignment, I don't know, get through. And if I, stumble along the way, I stumble along the way, but that is the only way that I can understand and learn. It's not the only way, but it's become the most effective way. We wouldn't be here right now with you listening to me had I not just decided to just begin. Because I've had years of research, but at the end of the day, when you're in the thick of it and you're motivated and you're passionate about what you're doing, you're going to find a way to keep going. And so it was a difficult week. And I think in being able to sit in that, feel that, accept it, and move through it instead of just like swallowing how I feel or blocking how I feel, has led me to wonderful things. So I shout out to the Hue Collective, MIA, and what that is it's a black marketplace in a historically black city called Richmond Heights in South Florida, South Miami-Dade, and I was a vendor of my crystals and sage and spiritual wellness tools. And that was such a dope experience. To be surrounded by black entrepreneurs, all black everything is dope. It's dope. Food trucks, businesses, wellness, clothing, food, just the innovation in each person's business, branding, all of that is something to be soaked in and to learn from. Before this event, I was freaking out because it's something where I've never done anything like this. And I'm like, I want to prepare all of these things. And shout out to the retrograde of the Mercury because all that I had planned just didn't happen, y'all. When we were talking about delays and things not happening, yeah, that was the prior week. So it was cool because I was able to create some things ahead of time, and that kind of set me up. And so really and truly having the audacity to believe in your success, no matter how crazy it seems to everybody else, is literally, you're already halfway there. Because then the only thing missing is the work, right? But work without faith and faith without work, you don't really get too far. You need both. Because you need to be in alignment with whatever the universe got going on with you. The universe also got to see, like, so are you going to make the moves to move forward, though? You can't just sit and wait. I mean, there's manifestation, and there's also adding a little more fuel to that fire, right? And so sometimes going on a whim and saying, hey, this is going to work. I was afraid the whole time. Like, I'm an introvert, and I'm wondering, like, how am I going to put myself out there? How am I going to, be, how am I going to attract people, what have you? And then once I did the setting up, shout out to my family members who came through, and I'm like, I don't even know what I want the table to look like. And I'm here messing with the table and trying to get things done and make it look a certain way and all of these things until I'm like, okay, this looks good. But throughout the whole thing, I'm a big mess of Meep. If you don't know who Meep is from the Muppets, and he is always anxious and freaking out. I think it's Meep and Beaker, and he's like blowing stuff up in the lab and all that. I'm that old, y'all. Okay, moving on. So I'm meeping, and I'm like, I don't know if, people are really into the metaphysical or what have you. But I'm hoping that my intention comes across, right? And I think being able to further cement what the mission is was really helpful, because I did an interview on their IG Live, which highlighted vendors, and I was asked a question of basically like, why should anybody come visit your table? And I was like, oh my God, what a question. But it's with the authenticity and sincerity of elevating the healing of Black and brown people. The ability to tap in and return and reconnect with self. And that is my why. And so to be driven by your why as a creative, as a business person, as just a being, like what excites you, what drives you, what wakes you up in the morning, what keeps you up at night, and believing that you're part of this bigger thing, for me, it has gotten me halfway there. I think it's been a consistent theme of just having the audacity to make the intangible tangible. You need your ego. You need your self-worth and your value. You need the belief that it can be real. It can be done. And what's interesting, I keep going back to the conversation that I had today with my bestie, is access and also knowing that it's an option. I say that in where I never really believed that this can be a life that I live, a life of a creative person. I mean, if you've been raised in a West Indian household like I have, you got 2 to 3 options. You're either a doctor, a lawyer. Well, 2 options. That's it. You're either a doctor or a lawyer. And I